I'm a blind guy, but I still head to the piano room to practice every day. Just as I got to the door of the piano room, the campus belly Liu Ruyan noticed me, my seemingly ill-intentioned look. She walked up quickly and shoved me straight to the ground. Seeing the panicked expression on my face, she finally spotted the blind cane placed next to the piano. The campus belle standing nearby felt extremely guilty, but I thought there was no one around. So I played and sang a song called Qinghua. After listening, Liu Ruyan felt even more guilty. Ever since I transmigrated here 2.5 years ago, I had already lost my eyesight. To regain my sight as soon as possible, I have to put up with the system's check-in spots that get more and more ridiculous every time. Today I just rushed to the piano room to check in, and got pushed to the ground by someone. I didn't blame the person at all. I kept thanking them instead, because as a blind person, I had no idea. She was the campus belle who pushed me just now. Right now, Liu Ruyan, who was supporting me and her best friend Su Ling, were shocked when they heard me thanking them. The guilt in their hearts almost completely overwhelmed them. Hearing that, it went quiet around me. I thought the two of them had left. I let out a soft sigh and placed my fingers on the piano keys. My action caught Liu Ruyan and Su Ling's attention. The two exchanged a confused look. Is he actually going to play the piano? A blind guy probably doesn't even know where each piano key is located, right? Watching my two hands fumbling constantly over the piano keys, this helpless look of mine, Liu Ruyan could already imagine a helpless blind man getting bullied by others all the time. But his love for music makes him come to practice when there are fewer people on Saturdays. But he never expected to get pushed by me again. Right now, Liu Ruyan really wanted to slap herself twice in the face on the spot. I'm such a total jerk. While she was lost in her wild thoughts, I had already felt every single piano key on the instrument. I let out a deep breath and started playing Qinghua. The intro started playing. It immediately stunned Liu Ruyan and Su Ling, who were drowning in guilt. Didn't he look like he couldn't play just now? While the two of them were still confused, I had already finished playing the intro. I started singing softly and immediately captured the very soul of the song with my voice. That faint sense of sorrow and melancholy made the two girls in front of me freeze on the spot. Liu Ruyan's eyes were already completely red from crying by now. She had no idea what the man in front of her had gone through, but she knew. He must have been badly hurt. In a past romantic relationship, she could even imagine it clearly. A girl despised him for being blind, did him wrong, and then broke up with him without hesitation. And this song was written by him when he had lost all hope in life. The song ended. I sighed and wiped the tears from the corner of my eyes. I got way too into the performance. I even made myself cry while singing. But this look of mine came off, completely different in Liu Ruyan's eyes. She thought bad people must bully him all the time in real life. A blind man's world is full of darkness. He doesn't even know who is bullying him. This kind of helplessness and despair, probably, only he himself can understand. I had no idea that one song would make Liu Ruyan's mind run wild with all kinds of thoughts. The second my singing stopped, the system notification sounded in my head. Check-in successful. Random check-in reward is now being distributed. Hearing that, I got expectant again. Every time I hope I can draw something that can cure my blindness. Ding! Reward distribution starts now. Song Amma. Next check-in location. Rising Star Competition. Preliminary round venue. Detailed information about the song flooded my brain. I was slightly disappointed, but I calmed down pretty quickly. I've been blind for so long anyway. I've already gotten used to it, I sighed in my heart. I held the edge of the piano with one hand and stood up. The next second I gasped hard, damn. My leg went numb, no other choice. I could only fumble for my blind cane with one hand, and limped out of the room. But this look of mine in Liu Ruyan's eyes meant she had pushed him so hard he got injured. Su Ling was also feeling extremely guilty. She stood there staring at the door in a daze. Yan. We went way too far. No, I have to go apologize to him face to face. After Liu Ruyan left those words, she turned around and chased after the direction I left, watching my limping figure. Liu Ruyan wanted to run up to me and say, "Don't move, let me help you." But if I rush out so rashly, will I scare him? She thought about it over and over again. Liu Ruyan decided to follow along first. Wait till he gets too tired to walk. Then I'll go out and make it look like we ran into each other by chance. How should I compensate him anyway? Guess I'll have to marry him as payback. At the thought of this, Liu Ruyan's face flushed red, and she silently called herself shameless. Sure, this guy is good looking, but it's a shame he's blind. Just as she was zoning out, I had already reached my destination. I do odd jobs for a plaza band. All I need to do is wipe their instruments during the intermission, and grab them water, then I get 50 yuan after the show. It might not seem like much, but it's my only source of living expenses. While I was wiping the electronic piano, my fingers brushed against a few keys. The sound from the keys seemed a bit off. Sister Lee, your piano is out of tune. The sound doesn't sound right. Sister Lee froze for a second, then smiled and shook her head. No way. This is an electronic keyboard. It can't go out of tune. Looks like a part is loose after playing a few more times, I said firmly after hearing what I said. Sister Lee and the other members didn't believe me at all. Forget if you even know anything about electronic keyboards. You're a blind guy, you probably don't even know what this thing looks like, right? Besides, none of them could hear anything wrong with the sound. This guy is definitely pretending to know stuff and talking nonsense. I can't see. So of course I had no idea they all looked so unconvinced. I just trusted my own judgment and kept feeling around the body of the piano with my hand. The band members all shook their heads when they saw this. All right. Let's start the next song. The lead singer waved his hand, silently signaling Sister Lee to kick this guy out first. After all, there were more and more people in the audience. He didn't want this blind guy to mess up his show here. Sister Lee nodded. Hey, little blind guy, move aside. We're about to start, Sister Lee said impatiently as she looked at me. She only let me help in the first place because she felt bad for me. Plus, messing with a blind guy during breaks was kind of fun. But if I got in the way of their performance now, I'm afraid after this show, I wouldn't be allowed to come back ever again. Wait, I'll be done in a second. My voice came through. Sister Lee frowned and was just about to yank me to the side when I suddenly stood up, reached out and played a short segment on the keys. A dozen seconds later, I nodded. It's fixed now, Sister Lee. Sister Lee was stunned. The segment I just played really did sound different from before. It was much clearer. The pitch really was off, but that wasn't what shocked her the most. What shocked her was the segment I played so smoothly. She had never heard it before. Even though it was only a dozen seconds long, the passion and sorrow in the melody hit her right in the heart. Little blind guy, did you write that segment just now? Sister Lee looked at me with mixed emotions and hesitated for a moment. I nodded. The system gave it to me, so it counts as my work, I guess. What's it called? The guitarist asked impatiently. It's a song called Ama. After hearing that name, a wave of sadness washed over the lead singer as he thought of Xiaoxia. Chenan, do you want to sing it? I was just about to refuse, when a ding suddenly went off in my head. Check-in location reproduction activated. Sing one song on this stage. Check-in completed. Random reward unlocked. I froze for a second. Only an idiot would pass up a free reward. Sure, I nodded. Below the stage at this point, a lot of onlookers had already gathered. Liu Ruyan was among them. When they saw the band's lead singer and the guitarist carrying the electronic keyboard out, with a blind guy holding a guide stick following right behind them, everyone was stunned. What the hell? Did the band show turn into a blind guy's performance? The onlookers lost interest immediately. As I sat down, a third of the audience left right away. The remaining people were just curious. What a blind guy could possibly play. On stage, I sat in front of the piano, my unfocused eyes staring ahead. At this moment, I was surrounded by darkness, but I was also standing in the light. I rested my fingers on the keys, and a melodious sound immediately rang out. For a moment, everyone in the audience went quiet. They all looked completely stunned and disbelieving. How on earth could a blind guy play the piano so beautifully? Everyone was instantly hooked the second they heard it. Backstage, the 4 members of the band were also staring at me with mixed, complicated expressions. That piano playing is so fucking awesome. The moment that deep magnetic voice started singing, everyone felt a sting in their nose instantly. When the whole song finished, Liu Ruyan in the audience yelled loudly, Chenan, I want to be your eyes! Though her voice was drowned out by the surrounding noise, it didn't matter at all. She had already made up her mind. I sat there quietly. When the mission completed, notification rang in my ears, which made me feel happy secretly. Random reward. Master-level guitar skills. The song People Like Me. I shook my head. This still isn't what I want. When will I ever get a reward that can restore my eyesight? It's gonna be a really long road ahead. Little Chenan, you played so well, and you sang really great too. A pair of hands patted my shoulder. I could tell from the voice it was Sister Lee. Thanks, Sister Lee. After saying that, I stood up, grabbed my cane and walked towards backstage. The 4 of them watched my leaving back, their eyes full of complicated feelings. No one expected that the little blind guy who polished their instruments and fetched them tea and water would have such amazing talent. That one song almost made them kneel in awe. All their previous contempt was completely gone. Backstage, I kept polishing the instruments, totally unaware that a beautiful figure was approaching me. After I finished polishing a guitar, I stood up and fumbled my way towards another instrument off to the side. Turns out there was an electric wire on the floor. Since I couldn't see it at all, I was about to fall straight down when someone yelled, "Watch out!" Liu Ruyan immediately reached out her hand and caught me before I hit the ground. I got a huge scare too, and when I came back to my senses, I felt my face pressed against something super soft. I almost couldn't catch my breath. Liu Ruyan realized what happened a second later. When she noticed the weird feeling on her chest, her face instantly turned bright red. She quickly helped me stand properly, and I said thanks. After taking a few deep gasps of air, I said shyly, "No, no problem." Liu Ruyan mumbled quietly, and I went, "Huh? Bodhisattva lady, what are you doing here?" Later on the square, Liu Ruyan held my arm and walked forward the whole way, while I looked totally shocked. It was just a little push, right? She actually followed me all the way from school to here, just to apologize to me. Liu Ruyan lowered her head and gave a soft She had figured it out by now. I was limping earlier because my leg was numb, not because I got injured. She felt a huge weight lift off her chest, and was also really grateful at the same time. If she hadn't followed me out, she probably would never have gotten to see him sing tonight. The two of them slowly walked towards the school. "Do you know how to sign up for Rising Star?" Liu Ruyan thought for a second. She had heard a little about this show before. It seemed to be a new talent show that just came out recently. "Are you gonna join it?" I nodded my head. Liu Ruyan patted her chest. "Leave it to me then. I'll help you sign up." After she got back to her dorm, Liu Ruyan turned on her computer and started searching for related info about Rising Star. After learning the details, she entered the registration webpage and filled in all my information. After finishing all this, she climbed into her bunk and slowly fell asleep. I woke up really early the next day, since I'm blind. If I lived with other people, it would probably cause a lot of inconvenience. So the school just went ahead and applied for a single dorm room for me. I got up really early and did my eye exercises while facing the sunlight, though it doesn't really help. But when I was doing them today, I couldn't stop thinking about what Liu Ruyan looked like. It was all just my imagination, of course. She probably isn't that pretty. After all, I'm just a blind guy. If she was actually a beautiful girl, she'd have to be blind too to help me this much. Just as I was letting my imagination run wild, my phone suddenly started ringing. It was Liu Ruyan. She was waiting for me right outside my dorm building. I hung up the phone and ran downstairs as fast as I ever had in my life. At the same time, under the boys' dormitory building, the moment Liu Ruyan showed up, caught the eye of countless boys. Whoa, that's our campus belle Liu. What's she doing here out of nowhere? And look, she's holding breakfast in her hand. Did someone actually win our Luo University campus belle's heart? While all the boys were staring and chatting excitedly about Liu Ruyan, I showed up downstairs with my white cane. The heated discussions around me made me confused. What's going on here? Why is everyone making such a racket? Also, I vaguely seem to hear Liu Ruyan's name. Hey guys, look. Why is a blind guy walking towards Liu Ruyan? Duh, obviously. Even a blind guy can feel the charm of our Luo University campus belle. He's going to ask for her autograph, said one of Liu Ruyan's suitors confidently. But wait, why did Liu Ruyan hand the breakfast in her hand to this blind guy? A boy next to him pointed down in disbelief. What? The suitor and the other people, who were ready to watch a joke, were all stunned. They all hurried to look over. Right under the dormitory building, the moment Liu Ruyan saw me, she trotted over to support me and handed me the breakfast she was holding. That scene made the whole place go dead silent. Everyone's eyes went wide, with total disbelief on their faces. A blind guy? Campus belle Liu was waiting for a blind guy? No way. Impossible. He must be a relative of our campus belle. Countless suitors were scrambling for excuses in their heads, but what happened next made them feel like the sky was falling. I took a bite of the steamed bun and accidentally got some filling on the corner of my mouth. Liu Ruyan noticed and gently wiped it off for me. This super intimate scene instantly broke the hearts of everyone present. Would relatives act this intimately with each other? Obviously, that's impossible. In their eyes, campus belle Liu Ruyan was sacred, an untouchable goddess. But now she's personally delivering breakfast and even wiping his mouth carefully. This kind of stuff only happens in dreams. And the guy getting all this treatment is blind. Everyone around turned to look at me. Good thing I can't see, otherwise I'd be facing a million death stares. I think I heard a lot of people talking about you just now, I said suddenly. Really? Liu Ruyan smiled slightly. You heard right. I'm the campus belle after all. Showing up here is bound to cause a stir. Campus belle? I was stunned for a second. Then I reached out to touch her forehead. This unexpected move made Liu Ruyan blush. What are you doing? I looked completely serious. You do feel a little feverish. You probably have a fever. Otherwise, you wouldn't say stuff like that. In my opinion, someone as important as a campus belle, waiting for a blind guy under the boys' dorm. Is that even realistic? Liu Ruyan rolled her eyes. Believe it or not, whatever. Cut to inside a fancy restaurant. This restaurant smells really nice. It must be really expensive, right? It's not that high-end. I'm treating you, okay? Don't worry about it. Liu Ruyan said as she waved the waiter over to serve the food. After hearing that, I didn't ask any more questions. I just made a mental note of it. Oh, right. I already signed you up for Rising Star. Liu Ruyan started explaining to me. The Rising Star competition has 4 rounds, the preliminary round, the elimination round, the semi-final, and the final. There are also 3 different tracks. Each contestant can pick the track that fits their strengths best. That's awesome. After hearing that, I gave her a thumbs up. I'm so lucky I met Liu Ruyan. If I had to sign up myself, I'd never know all these rules. Liu Ruyan puffed out her chest a little proudly when she heard that. I think your original songwriting ability is really good, so you should consider the standout talent track. Sure, I nodded. I don't really care either way. Right now, I just want to trigger a check-in mission that can restore my eyesight. Liu Ruyan nodded. Then you better hurry up and write your song. The preliminary round is only a few days away. No problem, I already have one ready. I thought of the song the system gave me not long ago. After hearing that, Liu Ruyan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then she seemed to remember something. Do you need any instruments for this song? No, I shook my head. The song's structure is really simple. When the time comes, we only need one guitar to play the whole solo. Hearing that, Liu Ruyan smiled softly. I'll give you a guitar. You can practice when you're free. No way. I frowned right away. I know a decent guitar costs at least $1,000. For any college student, this is definitely a huge sum of money. Liu Ruyan was startled by my outburst and felt a bit wronged. She was just trying to be nice after all. I came to my senses immediately and knew I'd used too harsh a tone. I softened my voice right after. I might get eliminated as soon as I step on stage. There's no need for you to spend so much on a guitar, but you can use it for your daily songwriting too, right? Besides, this is an investment for me. What if you get famous later and become a big star? Maybe I'll even need you to give me a leg up then. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You really think a blind guy like me can get famous? Of course, I've got your back in the entertainment industry. It's impossible for you not to blow up. As soon as she said that, Liu Ruyan realized she'd said the wrong thing immediately. She quickly corrected herself. I'm the goddess of luck, you know, with me looking out for you. You'll get famous no matter where you are. Then wouldn't I turn into a little fireball? I shook my head with a smile. I obviously didn't take her words seriously. All right. It's settled, okay? Liu Ruyan is super efficient when she acts. The very next day, she showed up carrying a brand new guitar at the dorm building entrance again. Her arrival once again drew the attention of every guy in the boys' dorm. But when they saw me holding my white cane, walking side by side with the campus belle and leaving, all of them were grinding their teeth in anger. Damn it, I want to punch that blind bastard so bad. Why does my back feel so cold all of a sudden? With Liu Ruyan hanging on my arm, I mumbled in confusion. Liu Ruyan chuckled softly. Because I'm the campus belle, duh. You're hanging out with the campus belle. Of course other people are going to be jealous of you. I don't buy that. I shook my head. I'm probably just wearing too little. Looks like the temperature's going to drop soon. Liu Ruyan looked up at the sky. The August sun is no joke, you know. She slathered sunscreen all over her body before going out. At least, such a clueless straight guy. Liu Ruyan puffed out her cheeks, wanting to pretend to be mad to tease me. But then she remembered I couldn't see her, so she pouted in disappointment instead. What the two of them didn't know at that moment was a figure was sneaking behind them, following their steps. Suling stared at Liu Ruyan with a dangerous glint in his eyes. He never would have thought that his precious Yan Yan would actually fall for a blind guy. I want to see what a blind guy like you. Has that made my Yan Yan fall for you? Suling followed the two of them carefully from behind. They soon arrived at a wetland area in the school. Leaning against a willow tree, Liu Ruyan and I sat cross-legged on the ground here. Suling hid himself, not far away, watching the two of them quietly. Here, this is the guitar I got you. As soon as we sat down, Liu Ruyan took the guitar out from behind her back. She handed it to me, and I was so shocked by how fast it was that I froze for a second. I hesitated with a conflicted look on my face, and didn't reach out to take it for a long time. Liu Ruyan seemed to notice my hesitation and stuffed the guitar directly into my hands. Didn't we talk about this yesterday? Just think of it as my investment. Besides, how can a music student not have a guitar? All right, I sighed to myself in my head. I silently made a note that I owed her 1 meal and 1 guitar. I have to pay her back when I have money later. I took the guitar and put it on my lap. I tuned it quickly like I'd done it 100 times. I plucked the strings twice casually. Watching what I was doing, Liu Ruyan became even more sure in her heart that she hadn't misjudged me at all. Even though God closed the door of sight for him, he opened another window for him to be a music genius. As she thought about this, Liu Ruyan stared at his side profile, lost in thought. He had the perfect bone structure of a handsome guy, even though he couldn't see. The clarity in his eyes was so pure that the second you saw it, you couldn't help but feel deeply drawn to him. Her face turned bright red immediately, and she didn't dare look at him anymore. She even secretly called herself shameless in her heart. Good thing I can't see, right? But what she didn't know was, a dozen meters away from her, there was a pair of eyes watching this whole scene clearly. It hurts so bad. Suling plopped down on the ground right then, and felt like he just got his heart broken. His precious Yan Yan actually liked someone else, and that person was actually a blind guy. I should have never taken him to the piano classroom that day. Suling was drowning in regret. At the same time, after I finished plucking the strings, I couldn't help marveling at what an amazing instrument it was. Damn, this must have cost a fortune, right? Have you got your contest song ready? Liu Ruyan asked suddenly. I nodded. Then play a section for me. Let me see if it works for the contest. Right after that, my fingers started plucking the strings. As soon as the first note played, a deep somber mood began to spread all around. This song is about himself, isn't it? Also, why did he lose his eyesight? Liu Ruyan never asked him about that, and she had no intention to. It must be a deep scar in his heart. It would hurt like hell if someone brought it up. But right now, Liu Ruyan wanted to say, Chenan, people like you will never be just another face in the crowd. Not far away, Suling listened to the whole song quietly. The raw emotion in the song had already made her face stream with tears. At that moment, she seemed to understand Liu Ruyan's choice. She wasn't the only one feeling this way. Even Suling herself, after hearing this song and looking at Chenan's face, felt her heart pounding wildly in her chest. She was also dying to know what had happened to this boy in the past. The feeling of a crush hit her out of nowhere. She touched her burning hot face. Suling didn't dare keep looking, so she got up and ran away in a panic as my fingers kept moving. I played the final note. I took a deep breath and asked, how was it? Liu Ruyan was still in a trance and got jolted back to reality. Then she said hurriedly, full of surprise, passing the contest with this song is a total piece of cake. The contest is the day after tomorrow. I'll go with you then. I opened my mouth, about to refuse. But then I remembered I'm completely blind. I'd probably get kidnapped halfway and not even know it if I go alone. So I could only nod. The moment I agreed, Liu Ruyan had an idea, picked up her phone and took a photo of me. She saved the photo with a smile, then stood up and pulled me to my feet. I'm starving, let's go eat. At the same time, Chen Shu, director of Rising Star, was going through the contestant list on his computer. A man next to him said with a smile, this time, Jiaxing Entertainment, Beihai Entertainment, and Haiming Entertainment all sent their people here. Running a talent show is so hard, especially when the 3 big talent agencies keep forcing their trainees onto us. Chen Shu rubbed his eyebrows in frustration. The original goal of this show was just to find truly talented musicians from the public. Who knew right after we announced the show? The 3 big agencies reached out to us and arranged for a bunch of trainees to join. They took half of the contestant spots right away. Even though he was against this, he had no choice but to suck it up. After all, they're the show's sponsors. Without the support of these 3 big agencies, we can't even get the show off the ground. But sure, they can send their people here. No one knows how far they'll get in the contest. It all depends on their own strength. If they're still the type that gets a tiny cut on their hand and makes a huge fuss, you'd think they lost an entire arm from how they act. Chen Shu could only snort. Old Chen, look at this contestant, he's interesting. The man next to him pointed at the computer screen, at a contestant's entry and said Chen An, sophomore at Imperial University. Chen Shu looked up and saw 2 words in the next column. Blind, isn't that interesting? The man's eyes lit up. He looked super excited. Chen Shu asked confusedly, Old Anne, why are you so excited about a blind contestant? Didn't you keep looping his song on repeat a few days ago? Assistant Director An Zizai smiled meaningfully. Dude, you mean... Chen Shu's eyes widened immediately. A while back, he found a song called Ama online. He fell in love with it the first time he heard it. But there was no official audio available online, so he had to extract the audio from the video. Even now, when he has free time, he still listens to that song. Assistant director Anzazai nodded and said, "Do you think this guy will be our show's dark horse?" Dark horse. Chen Shu repeated the word over and over. As he stared at Chenan's info, his eyes gradually filled with a faint smile. The next day, Liu Ruyan took me to the filming set of Rising Star. The staff there had already gotten the notice and were waiting outside already. I was super easy to spot in the crowd. The one holding a guide cane, that's me. Liu Ruyan walked me over and handed me to. The staff member left after that, but the staff who received me was sighing inwardly. This blind guy is so lucky. He got such a pretty girlfriend, though he's really handsome too. But it's so sad he can't see himself or his girlfriend. He muttered to himself in his mind. Then he led me into the program's venue. Several other contestants caught sight of me, and were all curious about my appearance. There's actually a blind contestant on the show. Some were curious, while others were disdainful, especially a few who got out of luxury cars, and were all dressed up fancy. When they saw what I looked like, they all sneered. How dare a blind guy come to a talent show? Who gave him the guts? Ridiculous that he deserves the same stage as us trainees. The staff member brought Chen An to the lounge and then left. Before leaving, he said one more thing. The show starts tomorrow. Dinner will be delivered to you later. Make sure you don't wander off randomly. For this kind of concern, I nodded with a smile. After making sure no one was in the room, I lay down on the bed. I cursed the system's stupid task angrily in my mind. If it weren't for my eyes, I would never have come here. Besides, I've pretty much figured out the system's personality by now. Just showing up at the place isn't enough. I have to do something else. Before she gives you the reward, geez, what if she tells me to check in on my wedding night? Do I have to put on a show for her then? I shook my head. Just then, I heard a knock on the door. Right after that, a voice spoke up. Hello, Chenen. I'm the staff member in charge of contestants' information collection for the show. Hearing that, I sat up from the bed. Just then, the door opened. A capable woman wearing business attire and black stockings walked in. Hello, Chenan. My name is Li Jing. I'm here to tell you about the competition guidelines. I nodded. I already got the gist of the basic info. I don't bother learning about the rest. It's just a formality anyway. Li Jing sighed inwardly. Such a good-looking natural hunk. It's a shame he's blind. She pulled herself together. She went on to say, our competition has 3 tracks in total. All 3 tracks are open at the same time. But when it officially airs, we will broadcast 1 track at a time. So which track are you going to choose? Hearing this, I hesitated for a second. Liu Ruyan said I should pick the standout original track, because it's the most friendly track for original singers. But if I want to get eliminated in the first round, I have to put myself at a disadvantage. So I lifted my head and said, I choose the stunning beauty track. Li Jing was stunned. She thought I would pick the standout original track. She had checked this guy's information after all. His original song is still on the hot search list right now. It's just that most people know the song but don't know him. Classic case of the song being popular, but the singer isn't. Maybe it's because it was too dark that night. The video taken on the phone was too blurry. Li Jing nodded. So what song did you bring this time? Someone Like Me. I answered honestly. Hearing this, Li Jing thought for a second. She didn't seem to recall anything about this song. She hesitated and asked, Is this an original song written by you? That's right. Sensing what she was thinking, I added, Can't I sing original songs on the beauty track? Well, you can. Li Jing couldn't wrap her head around it. You're singing an original on the stunning beauty track. This track judges singing and dancing. Don't tell me you're gonna take the song you wrote and bounce around singing it. She looked at my eyes. Fine. As long as this guy doesn't trip over himself when he dances. After jotting down the information reluctantly, Li Jing finally left. Of course, I could guess she was surprised. But I don't care. I'm just a cold-hearted task-crushing machine. After dinner, I lay on the bed. My phone suddenly rang. It was Liu Ruyan. We made some small talk first. Then Liu Ruyan spoke in a cheerful tone, Chen An. I have a surprise for you. Want to hear it? What surprise? I was confused. What surprise could make Liu Ruyan this happy? On the other end of the phone, Liu Ruyan grinned, showing her cute little fangs as she spoke. Your song has caught QQ Music's attention. They want to buy the copyright to it. I was stunned when I heard that QQ Music, that's one of the biggest music platforms in the country. But them coming to buy the copyright from me, Feels a little too unreal. For the copyright of the song Ama, they offered 5 million yen to buy it out. My eyes instantly went wide in shock. That's 5 million yen, are you kidding me? Forget this lifetime. I never even saw that much money in my past life. But after the shock wore off, I started to have doubts. It wasn't that the offer was too low. It was that it was way too high. I'm just a total nobody with no fame, who sang one viral song. Even if the song blew up all over the internet, my public worth is still what it is. QQ Music isn't running a charity. Why would they spend such a huge sum of money to buy a song from some random regular person? Did that silly girl Liu Ruyan get scammed? Ruyan, you can't trust random people when you're away from home, especially those who try to tempt you with money. You can't believe them easily, I said in a lecturing tone. Liu Ruyan froze for a second on the other end of the line. Then she immediately figured out what I meant. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Relax, okay? It's really QQ Music. I'm not lying to you. She really wasn't lying to Chen An, but he was right about one thing. Even though QQ Music was interested in buying the song, their offer was only 180,000 yuan. As for why she said 5 million earlier, it's all because of her background. Beijing is the top entertainment company in China. Liu Ruyan is the daughter of Beijing's CEO. QQ Music also has cooperative ties with them. Plus, with Liu Ruyan as the guarantor, they made an exception and used a B-list artist's pay rate to buy this song. That's already the biggest concession they can make. But no matter what, I just couldn't believe they'd pay 5 million to buy out this song. If that's real, I'll chop my head off and use it as a soccer ball. Seeing that I wouldn't believe her no matter what, Liu Ruyan finally said helplessly, "Fine, I'm not messing with you anymore. QQ Music really did reach out to you. They offered 180,000 yuan for this song." When I heard this price, I finally believed it a little. I had to put it that way first. Otherwise, this dummy wouldn't buy it. What if he refuses to record the song later? As for the rest of the money, I'll keep it for him for now. That's so great. After hanging up the phone, I lay on the bed grinning from ear to ear. 180,000 yuan. I can finally take Liu Ruyan out for dinner. With that sweet dream in my head, I fell asleep really fast. The next day, all the contestants were led by the production team to the waiting room. I just casually sat down in a seat in the corner, looking at this blind guy who was totally out of place. Everyone was smart enough not to bother me. To be exact, the trainees looked down on me. The other contestants also thought I wouldn't pass the first round. What's the point of talking to someone who's going to get eliminated soon? I also knew my place. No one was talking to me. So of course I wouldn't go seek out others to chat. I only remembered what Li Jing said when I first walked in. The Stunning Beauty track is on the far left. The Outlier track is in the middle. The Supreme Magic Voice track is on the right. So right now I just need to remember, when they call my name, just head to the left. Performing an original song on the Stunning Beauty track will probably get me eliminated right as I step on stage. That's exactly the effect I want. Compared to staying on this show right now, I'd much rather go back and record the song, take the money and leave. Meanwhile, in the control room, Director Chen Shu was nervously managing everything. Oh right, what number is Chen An assigned to? He was quite impressed with this kid. Li Jing looked at the number list in her hand. His luck is really terrible. He's last. Hearing that, Chen Shu smiled and shook his head. All right, let's get started. As the competition officially kicked off, all 3 tracks opened at the same time. The Stunning Beauty track's mentor, Yang Dami, after making a heart gesture at the camera, swayed her hips as she took her seat. The Outlier track's mentor, Shui Chenqian, who's known for being humorous and a great jokester, waved at the camera before sitting down. As for the Supreme Magic Voice track's mentor, Hua Chenyu, didn't wait for the camera to point at him. He was already seated. Even when the camera was focused on him, he still kept a straight, cold face, like someone owed him money. With all 3 tracks up and running, contestants whose numbers are called will enter the track in order. As time goes by, I was sitting all alone in the corner. Out of sheer boredom, I started counting how many people passed each track in my head. A few hours went by. More than half of all contestants had finished their performances. For the Supreme Magic Voice track, there are 10 people who got the pass card now. The Peerless Beauty track has 11 pass holders. The Outstanding Solo track is doing terribly. Only 8 people have passed so far. Maybe the mentor is way too strict. Or maybe original work is really hard to pull off. I waited around bored out of my mind. Why is it not my turn yet? I just want to finish and get eliminated already. I gotta go back to record songs. The thought of selling one song for 180,000 yuan made me grin like an idiot. Little did I know, though, right when I was having a good laugh, another contestant failed to pass on the Outstanding Solo track. His name is Kai Shu. He's a trainee from Beihai Entertainment who has 2.5 years of training under his belt. He came to the competition this time, along with his older brother Kai-kun. Kai-kun was still in the waiting room at that moment. When he saw his little brother get eliminated, his face immediately turned sour. He was already in a bad mood. When he glanced over and saw someone laughing in the corner, he turned his head and realized the grinning guy was actually that blind dude. Is that funny to you? Kai-kun walked up to me in a few steps. The contestants who hadn't performed yet saw this scene, and their eyes immediately lit up. They gathered around to watch the drama unfold. I was still lost in my fantasy about the 180,000 when I felt someone standing right in front of me talking to me. I spoke up confusedly. Are you talking to me? Just 'cause you're blind doesn't mean you're deaf, right? Kai-kun spoke with heavy sarcasm in his tone. A blind guy who can't even see comes on a show like this. Are you gonna play the pity card on stage? Then become a streamer and beg for donations after the show airs? I frowned when I heard that. Who the hell is this guy? I didn't even say a single word. How did I piss anyone off? Does he just want to pick on me 'cause I'm blind? Fine, if that's how it is. I'm not gonna be nice to him either. You're a trainee, right? Yep, I'm a trainee from Beihai Entertainment. My name is Kai-kun. You better remember that, kid. I'm gonna be a huge star in the future. If you piss me off, you won't even survive in the entertainment industry. Even the internet won't have a place for you, I swear. Kai-kun looked down at me from above and said with a cold sneer, 2.5 years of training, good at basketball and cooking. For some reason, I blurted that out without thinking. What the hell? Is this guy a rapper? That rhymes pretty well. The other contestants mumbled to each other. Kai-kun's eyes were burning with anger right now, like he'd just been insulted. How did this guy know that I've been a trainee for 2.5 years? And basketball is actually his hobby too. As for cooking, other people always cook for him. He's gonna be a big star after all. Why would he ever cook himself? All right, kid, you've successfully pissed me off. Kai-kun was about to say something else when the speaker started calling his name. Just wait, I'll deal with you later. After spitting out that harsh line, Kai-kun turned around and fixed his appearance. He put on what he thought was a handsome smile and headed towards the outstanding solo track. Right then, the overhead screen showed Kai-kun walking onto the outstanding solo track stage. His voice came through the speakers and immediately grabbed everyone's attention. Even I perked up my ears to listen. After Kai-kun gave his self-introduction, he said, Hello, teacher Sue-chan-kyan. I saw that you like playing basketball normally. We can play together sometime if you want. Hearing that, Sue-chan-kyan got interested. Then you have to go easy on me. I'm really bad at it. Ha ha. Teacher Shue is too modest. Basketball is just my hobby. I'm definitely not as good as you. Kai-kun put on a humble expression. Sue-chan-kyan continued speaking. Do you have any other hobbies? Yes, teacher. Kai-kun smiled confidently. I have a lot of hobbies, but if I have to pick my favorites, there are only 4: singing, dancing, rap, and basketball. You have quite a lot of hobbies. All right then, contestant Kai. Please start your performance. Yes, teacher. Kai-kun let out a deep breath. He snapped his fingers at the band teacher next to him. A piece of noisy music started playing. It's got a really strong beat. Kai-kun's body moved along to the music rhythm. The sudden voice that came next scared Sue-chan-kyan and another musician beside her so much. What is he singing? The musician next to her, Ye leaned close to Sue-chan-kyan's ear and said, It sounds like. Sue-chan-kyan frowned.
She looked like she didn't know how to say it.
It sounds like Genie Taime. Why does he have lyrics like this? Ye looked a little shocked. Let's keep listening. Sue-chan-kyan rubbed her throbbing temple and looked at Kai-kun, who was singing and dancing. In the waiting room, when the remaining contestants heard the first line of the song, more than half of them couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing right away. Even though I don't really get it either, why he would sing Genie Taime as the first line. The rap part later is actually pretty good. All the staff and the director team were watching Kai-kun, who kept shaking his shoulders, and every single one of them was holding back their laughter until they saw a basketball thrown from the side, and Kai-kun did a set of moves with it. They just couldn't hold it anymore. It's so cringy. It's way too cringy. Backstage, everyone was already dying of laughter by this point. Even at the live scene, Sue-chan-kyan was holding a microphone in one hand and covering her mouth with the other. You could tell from how hard she's pinching her face, how hard she was trying to hold it in. But Kai-kun had no idea at all, and was still having a blast singing and dancing. Until the song ended. He was covered in sweat. He bowed to Sue-chan-kyan with a big smile on his face. Teacher, my performance is over. Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad. The second she let go of her hand, Sue-chan-kyan almost burst out laughing. She quickly coughed lightly to cover it up and said, The performance is very good. I can tell you really love singing, dancing, rap, and basketball. Yes, teacher, Taikun said. All right, your vote. Before she finished speaking, Ye Yi next to her gently tugged on her sleeve. Xue Tianqian looked over confusedly. Then Ye Yi leaned next to Xue Tianqian's ear and whispered something no one could hear. Then Xue Tianqian put on a serious face and said, All right, classmate Taikun, your performance is very good, so I'll let you pass. As soon as she finished speaking, Kaikun was stunned for a second. Then his face was full of excitement.
No way, he actually passed.
That's rigged, totally rigged. That doesn't make sense. Teacher Xue Tianqian is known as the fairest judge out of all. In the waiting room, everyone watched the excited Kai-kun on the screen. All of them looked confused. Only I looked totally calm. I listened to the whole song carefully, except for the super weird and catchy opening part. The rap part in the middle is actually really good. Kai-kun actually does have some real skills, so I'm not surprised at all that he passed. After Kai-kun passed, they started calling numbers again right after. Contestants in the waiting room went out one by one, like they were heading to a battlefield. Soon, the whole place gradually quieted down. Last contestant, Chen An. The Peerless Beauty track is finally up next. I let out a breath. Far left, beauty track. I mumbled to myself. I stood up holding my guitar and walked towards my left side. I felt around with the guide stick in my hand, but unexpectedly bumped into a table placed in the room. Hiss my foot. Wait, where was left again just now? I was dumbfounded. The moment I hit the table, my direction got messed up. I can't tell where left is now. It should be this way, right? I hesitated for a second, gritted my teeth, and felt my way forward. Soon I felt an entrance. At the same time, at the beauty track scene, Yang Dami looked at the partner next to her and said, Do we still have one contestant left? Shang Shoda nodded. Yeah, the director said he's a blind person. Yang Dami was stunned for a moment. Looked like she wanted to say something. But when she saw the camera next to her, she shut her mouth. How many votes do we have left? She asked again. Zhang Xiaoda looked at the list of past contestants in his hand and grinned. We're already full. This blind guy has no chance. His face was full of disdain. His laugh was dripping with mockery. Next door at the outstanding talent track, Xue Qingqian sighed. She counted on her fingers and said, Do we only have 14 spots filled right now? Ye Yi glanced at the list and nodded. Xu Qingqian was a little annoyed. She'd already lowered her standards later on, but she was still one spot short. But right at that moment, the sound of a crutch tapping the ground and footsteps suddenly came. A voice asked tentatively, Am I in the right place? Didn't the selections already end? Xue Tianqian looked confusedly at Aunt Ye beside her. Aunt Ye looked just as baffled. She checked the contestant list in her hand. It was correct. The last contestant she saw was supposed to be the final one. Then where did this guy come from? Back in the director's team, they watched as Chen An appeared on the outstanding talent track. Chen Shu froze for a second. He looked at Li Jing next to him and said, Didn't he choose the stunning looks track? That's right. Li Jing frowned as she stared at Chen An on the screen. Did he get lost and come to the wrong track? Hearing this, everyone realized what was going on instantly. So what do we do now? Should we go bring him over to the right track? Li Jing looked at the director and asked. Chen Shu hesitated for a second, then said, No need. It's fine if he took the wrong track. He won't pass the selection even if we send him to the stunning looks track anyway. Then I'll go inform the two mentors over there. Li Jing nodded, then picked up the walkie-talkie to send a message. Back at the outstanding talent track site, Xu Qingqian and Ye Yi were both totally confused. Staring at Chen An, Wu Qianqian hesitated for a second, then said, Are you also a contestant here for the selection? Hearing that, I complained silently in my head. This show is so unprofessional. Don't they even know who their contestants are? Looks like I need to get eliminated as soon as possible, so I can go back and record my songs. I nodded. Yes, mentor. Hearing this, Xue Qianqian thought to herself, Did the director team know I'm still one spot short and specially sent this guy over for me? But why is this contestant blind? She watched me standing there, holding a guide cane in my hand. Xue Qianqian felt a headache coming on. Logically speaking, her track was supposed to be the one with the highest quality contestants. Why are all the people that come such total pros? May I ask what your name is? Ye Qianqian asked. Hello, my name is Chen An. I'm a student from Imperial University. Qianqian nodded. She looked at the staff member next to her and asked her to grab a stool for him right away. After I sat down, Xue Qianqian started looking me over carefully. I had a guitar slung over my back. She could see it clearly. She was really confused. She said, All right, classmate Chen An, what's the name of the original song you brought today? People Like Me? What a title. Xue Qianqian was speechless for a moment. and put away her last bit of prejudice. So what if he's blind? Can't blind people make music too? People like you, huh? Please start your performance, Shui Chengqian said seriously. I nodded. I smoothly took the guitar off my back and started playing. As soon as the intro started, Shui Chengqian sat up straight immediately. All irrelevant emotions vanished from her eyes. After the short guitar intro, I leaned closer to the mic and started singing in a hoarse voice. 4 lines of lyrics captured the feeling of people who refuse to be ordinary their whole life. Shui Chengqian's heart skipped a beat. She listened even more intently than before. A whistling part came on. It sounded like someone sighing over half a lifetime of experiences. Shui Chengqian was totally dumbfounded. She was looking at me, but her mind was flashing back to her own experiences. She worked hard for half her life but stayed unknown for decades. Only in recent years did she finally make it big with her talent and became a top singer in the entertainment industry. These lyrics were like a mirror of her own life. She thought she was so smart when she was young, but ended up getting beaten down by life. It wasn't until recently that she settled down and unexpectedly blew up in popularity. These lyrics are so well written. The sound of the guitar rose and fell gradually after my voice told the story of a lifetime of unwillingness. The song ended with a series of rhetorical questions. When the song finished, Shui Chengqian frowned tightly. She was totally immersed in the song. She only had one thought about this song. No one who hasn't been through huge ups and downs in life could write this. She couldn't help but feel a little bad for this young boy who looked so immature in front of her. Who knew the show crew would end up bringing me such a total treasure? Chengqian! Chengqian! Ye Yi standing nearby was also super moved, but she just took a look at her communicator and her face twisted with conflict. She didn't have the heart to interrupt. The visibly thrilled Shui Chengqian. What's up? Shui Chengqian still had a smile on her face. Ye Yi hesitated for a second, then leaned in to whisper in her ear. And right then, I finally got to hear that lovely mechanical beep. Ding. Congratulations, host. Check-in successful. Random reward distribution in progress. Reward distribution complete. Song, Dispel Sorrows. Dawn Breaks, the actor. One little blue pill. Ding. Next check-in location refreshed. Star of tomorrow semifinals venue. I tuned out all other sounds around me right then, and only caught the second line. One little blue pill. System, will I be able to see if I eat this? Ding. Unknown. No data is available for this blue pill, which means we have no idea what effects this blue pill actually has. I put it away carefully and decided to test it when no one was around. It wasn't the right time yet. I calmed myself down first, then thought back to the last thing the system said, and my mood instantly tanked. I went through all that trouble to get to the beauty track just to get eliminated, and now you want me to check in at the semifinals venue. Stupid, useless system. If I get eliminated now, I'll never be able to complete this check-in. I sighed quietly to myself. What did you say? Shui Chengqian stared at Ye Yi with wide eyes. This guy is from the beauty track. He just went to the wrong track. Ye Yi nodded. That's what the production team just texted me. Shui Chengqian went quiet for a second and glanced over at Chen An. But teacher Yang Dami has no more tickets left. After the director talked to her team, they had no problem with this arrangement. Ye Yi kept talking when Shui Chengqian cut in. Come on, can you just spit it all out at once? Shui Chengqian breathed a sigh of relief. Classmate Chen An, did you write both the lyrics and melody of this song? Getting back on topic, Shui Chengqian asked with a smile. Yes, I nodded. I was already nervous, wondering if she would give me her ticket. All right, then the last ticket I have. Shui Chengqian stood up and walked over to me. Congratulations, Chen An, you're now part of my standout track. Huh? Standout track? I was completely confused. I thought I went to the character beauty track. When did I end up in the standout track? Ha ha ha! You went to the wrong one. Shui Chengqian laughed loudly as she looked at my confused face. Classmate Chen An, once you're on my team, there's no getting off. Fine. I rubbed the back of my neck. This was totally out of my expectation. But it wasn't a bad thing. At least I passed the round. After everything wrapped up, I was taken back to a room again. My advancement shocked all contestants except the staff. It was totally out of every contestant's expectation, especially Kai-kun, when he found out that he and that blind guy were on the same track. His face got so dark, you could practically squeeze water out of it. Hotel room. I took a hot shower, then sat cross-legged on the bed. After this advancement, I could go home temporarily and come back when the show crew notified me. The only thing I needed to do now was take that little blue pill the system gave me. I didn't hesitate. I took it out and popped it straight into my mouth. It tasted slightly bitter at first, then melted right away instantly, spreading across my entire mouth, sliding down my throat into my stomach, then spreading all throughout my limbs and body. I only had one feeling right then. I felt amazing all over, especially my little buddy down there. It started swelling up as the warm comfort spread. "Go down," I frowned and ordered, but it did absolutely nothing at all. Time ticked by second by second. Once the warm, comfortable feeling faded completely, I let out a nervous breath and slowly opened my eyes. "Oh, why are the lights off in broad daylight?" I said that with a bitter laugh. I shook my head. "Still no luck, huh? Can't see a thing, total dud." I was a little disappointed in my heart, but I accepted it calmly. But even though my eyes didn't recover, but with the effect of that little blue pill, my body seems way more agile and full of strength. Now with just my ears, I can move around small areas without using my guide cane. That's a nice unexpected gain, I guess. I flop back onto the bed and take out my Braille phone. I send a voice message to Liu Ruyan, then fall asleep right away. The next morning, the phone next to my pillow starts vibrating nonstop. I fumble to answer it half asleep. Before I can even say anything, a woman's screaming voice comes through the line. I knew I wasn't wrong about you, Chen-an. Liu Ruyan's voice was super excited. After hearing my voice message yesterday, she was so pumped she barely slept all night. So she called me super early in the morning. It's just a promotion, no big deal. I yawn and sit up. I'm heading back today. Hearing I'm coming back, Liu Ruyan froze. "Aren't you still competing? Why are you coming back? Are you being silly?" I laughed after fully waking up and said, "The first episode needs post-production. It'll take about a week before it officially airs. After it's broadcast, we'll start filming the next episode." "Oh, that makes sense." Liu Ruyan nodded in understanding. "Where are you right now?" "I'll come pick you up." An hour later, the two of us are sitting in the car. I spoke first. "Is Penguin Music really going to pay 180,000 yuan for that song?" Even though I knew Liu Ruyan wouldn't lie to me, I still wanted to double confirm. After all, that's no small amount of money. "Yep, and after you agreed that day, I already signed the contract with Penguin Music. Now we just need you to go record the song, that's all." Liu Ruyan said, "Actually, there's one thing she didn't mention. Penguin Music already transferred the 5 million yuan buyout fee over. But if she really gave all this, 5 million yuan to me right now, I'd probably think she robbed a bank. So she'll keep it for him first, and give it back to him when the time is right later. 180,000 won. My heart was still filled with joy. "When can we go record the song?" "If you have time, we can go right now." Liu Ruyan said, "Then let's go." I have time right now. Looking at how eager I was, Liu Ruyan smiled slightly. "Okay, let's go then." The two of them sped all the way to the Penguin building. "Mr. Chen-an, please come with me." The receptionist smiled and held out their hand, and took Chen-an from Liu Ruyan's side. "I'm going in, I'll call you when I'm done, okay?" "Wait for you." Liu Ruyan smiled brightly. As she watched me being led inside, the receptionist glanced at Liu Ruyan, then looked at Chen-an, and shook his head enviously. This blind guy is so lucky to have such a beautiful girlfriend. Come to think of it, though, if he wasn't blind, his face would be totally god-level handsome. What a shame, though. The song recording went really fast. He hit the perfect standard almost every take. "Mr. Chen-an, you sing so well. Even the professional singers who come here to record rarely have singing skills as good as yours." After the recording was done, the person in charge of Penguin Music said with a smile. At the same time, he was sizing Chen-an up. Someone that even that young lady cares so much about is really something special. What a shame he's blind.